CareScape R860 Operation, the system menu. In this video, I'll be demonstrating how the device operator can access the system menu and provide an overview of the system menu. To access the system menu, simply touch in the top left-hand corner of the ventilator touchscreen display under the Menu tab. Now I'm going to touch the menu key and open up the menu to see all the tabs, the sub-menus. And you see at the very top it says System, and that's where I'm going to access the subsystem menu. And on the right-hand screen I just enlarged it so it's kind of easier to see in this video, and I'm highlighting it in yellow right here. So this is what we want to open up. Now let's go ahead and open up the system menu. I'm going to open it up and I'm going to enlarge it to make it easier to see, so I'm going to zoom in. And I'll overview the whole system menu starting at the top under Data Source. So at the very top it says Data Source. Next to that is Ventilator. Now in my adult and pediatric modes, if the airway module is in use, I can select either the ventilator as a data source or the airway module. I'll be getting more into this with a different video specifically on data source. For a neonatal patient type, I can change it to ventilator to a neonatal flow sensor, which I'll show you in the neonatal type right after this portion when I have that patient category on. Let's close that out. Below that is my calibration for my airway module, and you can see the time and date stamp next to it. And this is where I'm going to access the menu to calibrate my airway module, which is another video. Below that is zeroing my auxiliary pressure port and an option to turn on purge flow, which I get into in advanced features. Below purge flow is display brightness. I can select anywhere from 1 to make it a very low display light, or all the way up to 5 to make it bright. So this is nice for those neonatal units that want to have low light stimulation, or even adult units during nighttime. Under that is a lot of information. I'm just going to highlight it here in yellow. A couple things I want to point out. On the left-hand side, it shows my software version, and I'm going to circle that with my highlighter, and you can see it's software version 10. To the right of that is my O2 and air wall pressure, which is good to know for my system checkout. And below that's the battery status, and I'm always going to check that to see what my charge is before I use the ventilator for transport. This concludes the system menu for adults and pediatrics. Now for my neonatal patient type, my system menu, there's not much different in there. I'm going to access the system menu the exact same way by selecting the menu key on the top left-hand portion of the ventilator display. When we look at our data source, let's go ahead and select that. You see I now have a choice for my neonatal flow sensor as a source versus my airway module. And under calibrations, I can calibrate my neonatal flow sensor itself. So those are the main differences between neonatal patient type versus my adult and pediatric. The airway module is not going to be used in my neonatal patient type. This concludes the system menu for neonatal patient type.